It's really a tale that is not, as I said, so much about Olympics or gymnastics, rather, as it is about the direction of sport as a whole, what it appears to be, where it appears to be going. Right? Which direction it's going? Do we need to get out our compass and redirect things? Now, the Russians ended the United States women's goal of a third straight team gymnastics gold medal because of Simone Biles exiting stage right in the middle of the event. The cameras of the Peacock, or is it NBC? It's one and the same there, caught Biles telling the team doctor for the U.S. Olympic team there that, quote, "I don't want to do it. I'm done." And just like that, that's it. The four-time, highly decorated Olympic gold medalist leaving the floor with the trainer after the opening routine. She was not physically injured, didn't hurt herself, but her status for the Olympics is in doubt. Now, she's not going to participate in the event on Thursday and likely will not participate in any more of the events in the Olympics, although that has yet to be determined. So it's a polite way of saying she essentially had a nervous breakdown here, or at least that's the company line. So the moment too big for whatever reason, even though the moment had not been too big in the past, Biles entered these games as the most hyped and celebrated, canonized athlete competing in Tokyo. This is a big story. This is a big Olympic story. So let us discuss. Now, what do you make of the Simone Biles story, the reaction to her quitting on the Tokyo Olympics there, which has been over the top, right? People have been trying to one-up each other to say how much they like Simone Biles, and it's not her fault, even though it is her fault. So my observations, you've got military, 1990s rock band, and Chicky Baby. And we will lock all of these together. Now, number one. Yeah. So we will begin with this. We aren't going to claim for a nanosecond to be any kind of gymnastic expert. We're not. My wife loves the gymnastics events and goes out of her way to watch them. I don't. Like the rank and file, we, generally speaking, know very little. You say diddly squat about a cartwheel versus a bridge or a handstand or a forward roll or a backward roll. We know which direction those are, but we're not experts. Nevertheless, we know a quitter when we see one. And right now, the biggest quitter in sports is Simone Biles. She raised the white flag. And I'm going to explain this to you like you're 5 years old. We believe in truth in broadcasting. The going got tough here, and she tossed in the sponge. And you can spin, and many people are, more on that in a minute. But there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They have a saying in the military when you do something like this, it's called going AWOL. Simone Biles went AWOL, right? AWOL stands for absence without leave and basically means you are not where you are supposed to be at a particular time. Like continuing to finish the event that you started, a dereliction of duties. Desertion is what it is. And when the music stops, that is the naked truth. You can say, no, you're mean. You're the meanie. Shame on you. How dare you? But those are the facts, spitting facts. And the thing that upsets me, and again, I'm not an Olympic gymnast fan, but the thing that upsets me is the selfish nature of this, and people are overlooking that. Taking the spot of someone who would not have given up, that would not have quit. I mean, think about it. There's some person out there, we have no idea who she is, but there's some faceless gymnast who missed getting on Team USA by one spot, who would not have walked away, who would have loved the opportunity to be in Tokyo and to compete. Could have been a life-changing opportunity. But instead, they're sitting home somewhere watching Simone Biles. I'm done. I'm not going to do it anymore. That's it. I'm sorry. Oh, my God. And the second thing, at its core, the issue is really bigger than Simone Biles. It gets down to the very bedrock of athletic competition. Now, I admit my problem is I was raised to follow, I talk about this a lot, the code of the West, right? You always finish what you start. You take pride in your work. And those are important things in a life. To me, a life well lived is you don't quit. You just don't quit. And even if you're gonna take it on the chin, you take it on the chin with a smile on your face. And that's just the reality of the situation. But that's the very bedrock of athletic competition. As I understand it, right? Sports are designed to test the resolve of those that choose to compete. And I understand a lot of things have gone upside down recently. A lot of things have gone upside down. But this is part of that. Like, the pendulum has swung so far off into what I believe is the wrong direction. It's at the point now where you actually gain more clout by being a quitter than winning a medal. You earn your weight in gold bullion in clout by walking away. This is a 180-degree turn from the history of sport. Think of some of the great quotes. Vince Lombardi, winners never quit, quitters never win, from the Green Bay Packers. Michael Jordan, famous quote for the Chicago Bulls. If you quit once, it becomes a habit. Never quit. And now you are tagged as a quasi-hero for screaming, "I'm done!" The media working as a 1990s rock band, the Spin Doctors, working overtime to rationalize and make excuses, and just like everything else, no accountability. It's not her fault, not her fault. What about all the medals? What about all the medals? Okay. Both things can be true. Simone Biles can have won many Olympic medals and still be a quitter. Both things can be true at the same time simultaneously. Now, Biles has been universally praised for showing bravery. CBS Sports, most courageous move she's ever landed. Headline. Yahoo, Dan Wetzel won some woke points with this story. Here's why Simone Biles didn't quit on Team USA. Now, we roll our eyes at this garbage, but I guess I'm in the minority. I hope I'm not, but it's hard to tell what's real and not, because social media is fake. It's a bunch of, it's the Matrix, right? You don't know what's real and what's not. There's a lot of bot accounts. Most of it seems to be generated by fakeness. So I don't know what's real or not, but making excuses for failures, which seems to be the rage of the time, right? The zeitgeist of the time. But she literally and figuratively stopped competing because they were going to lose and other people performed better than she did, and she could not handle the pressure of that moment on this particular day. It doesn't mean she didn't do it in the past, but on this day she didn't, and rather than finish what she had started, I'm done. I'm done skis. Final point. So to make things even more awkward, did you see what she was wearing there? She had all this goat on the clothing there, celebrating her past accolades there. The GOAT of gymnastics. Imagine if Tom Brady had a couple of incomplete passes in the first quarter of the Super Bowl and decide, you know what, boys, I just don't have it today. I'm sorry. I'm done. That's it. I am out of here, and I just can't do it. I don't want to do it. I'm done. Can you imagine if Tom Brady would have? Oh my God. And when you're a gymnast, the Olympics are your Super Bowl. That's it. I mean, this is the big stage. This is the only time in the calendar where people go out of their way to watch gymnastics. Sorry, not sorry. And this is going to be a negative mark on her sporting legacy. Now, what is my evidence here? Roberto Duran, considered the best lightweight ever, right? But what is he known for? When I hear the name Roberto Duran, if you're boxing, I'm a casual boxing fan. When I hear Roberto Duran's name, you know what I think of? No mas, no mas. That's what I think of. Scottie Pippen, Hall of Fame basketball player, wingman for the 1990 Chicago Bulls. When I think of Scottie Pippen, the first thing I think of him quitting. He refused to go into the game because Phil Jackson, at the end of the game, called the play for Tony Kukoc and not Scottie Pippen. That's the first thought. Boy, if only Scottie was around today. Can you imagine? If that same incident had happened today, Scottie Pippen would have claimed, mental illness, and he would have gotten a Netflix documentary and covers on magazines, and everyone would be bending over backwards. But as I remember, when Scottie Pippen did that, and I was doing sports radio at the time, we were killing Scottie Pippen. We were ripping apart Scottie Pippen, and he deserved it. And so it doesn't mean he didn't have a great career and didn't accomplish a lot, but that moment right there, that's a defining moment. And when you talk about their careers, these are the things that pop into your head. And one of the guiding principles of athletic competition, it is a test to see who not only the biggest, fastest, strongest competitors are, but there's a phrase a Hall of Fame sportscaster, Chicky Baby, Chick Hearn, came up with, the pressure cooker, right? You're in the pressure cooker late in the game. Who can make the plays there? Who can handle the pressure cooker? Mind and body, and can you compartmentalize and lock in on your target? Do you rise to the occasion? Or do you fold like a poorly made beach chair? And you start cracking under pressure and just, I'm not going to win today, so I'm done. With the marbles on the line, all the marbles on the line. Now, we have never, and we should never, commend people who give up. What are we doing? Sports are supposed to teach you life lessons. I thought that was the whole deal, right? You're teaching younger people, this is how you live your life. Well, don't quit. I think that's an important lesson. When you have a job, things get tough. I'm done. I'm not going to show up. No, that's not how a grown-up does it. And now I realize that corporate America feels much differently. In dollars to donuts, I will bet you that Simone Biles will get the Naomi Osaka package. She'll get the magazine cover. She'll get the Netflix documentary. She'll get the endorsement deals, the full Monty, as we celebrate the act of going AWOL. The act of going AWOL. And that is where we are right now at this moment. And it's pretty depressing that now we are no longer finishing what we start and taking pride in our work and all that. No. It's give up. And we used to make jokes about the French military quitting, right? That was always the running gag for years. Well, okay, we got a lot of athletes now that are really cool with giving it up, and people seem to love to give them shoulder massages for this activity.